everyone. Welcome to our national virtual event by Verve. We come to you today from the beautiful shores of Port Credit Retirement Residence in Mississauga. We are honored to present our first Virtually Verve presentation of 2022. My name is Michelle Bibby, and please let me introduce you to my co-host, Catherine Mayers.
Hi, everyone. I'm Catherine. I am a Community Relations Manager along with Michelle at the Shores of Port Credit, and we are so happy to be sponsoring this lovely event with Verve. We hope you enjoy the show.
Thank you all for coming by. We're in for a treat today. I'm super excited to watch our Red Seal chefs work in their element, creating two fabulous dishes that I get to eat after we're done. We are going to get everything started by showing you a short little clip of our brand new residence and all the wonderful amenities that come with it. It also includes a little information about our location for all you viewers who are joining us from across the country. After this little clip, we're going to join our two very talented chefs, Christopher White and Gus Hernandez, in the kitchen, where all the magic is going to happen. There will be an opportunity to ask the chefs some questions after they've completed creating these dishes. You don't have to worry about writing the recipe down though. You will receive both recipe cards in the email after this event. I won't make you wait any longer. Please enjoy, and I will see you all again when we're done in the kitchen.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Virtually Verve Living, Loving, Local Signature event. I'm here at the beautiful shores of Port Credit, where they're graciously hosting this event. I'm here with Gus Hernandez and Chris White. Guys, thank you so much for having me here today. Introduce yourself and tell us what we're going to do today.
All right, so my name is Gustavo Hernandez. I am the sous chef here at the Shores of Port Credit.
My name is Christopher White, and I am the executive chef here at the Shores of Port Credit.
All right, and thanks a lot, guys. It's great to meet you. Thanks for having me. Can you give us a little bit of background? Like, how did you end up here? Chris, where'd you come from? How'd you get here?
Yeah, so my background is fine dining and a little bit of hotels. I fell in love with cooking in my late teens, I want to say maybe early 20s. My first job was at Kelsey's working for Care Corp, and then decided I wanted to go to school for it, and then stumbled into fine dining, worked at a few hotels, and then just wanted a little bit of a change, and then started on my seniors living journey, and then here I am today with Verve Senior Living.
Okay, and how long have you been with Verve now?
I was with Verve for about 8 years now.
Okay, all right, so you got a seasoned veteran.
Yeah.
Gus, what about you?
So I started getting into cooking at about high school.
Okay.
And I went to school to Humber College after high school. I did my culinary management program there.
Yeah.
And then I got into some fine dining, but also mostly bakery.
Okay.
So baking is a strong asset of mine, baking and pastry. And
so you're a sous chef / pastry specialist.
That's right.
That's all right. That's some good traits to have.
So formally trained in cooking, but baking is my
your forte?
My forte.
All right. So I've heard a term being tossed around a little bit, red seal. What does that mean, and how do you get that, and why is that so important?
Yeah, so the Red Seal designation is a designation for people that want to pursue a career in cooking.
Okay.
It is done through training and working under somebody who already has their designation.
Okay.
It's like a licensing. So what it does is it creates a standard of the trade, and it signifies that you know within the trade of what it entails.
Okay, so if you got one of those, you know what you're doing, and people should be happy to be eating from something you created.
For sure.
So that's awesome. Okay,
Exactly.
so how you guys? So senior living, what's that like? You know, did you choose to come into this industry? Did it just happen? And you know, what's it like working with the seniors?
No, for me, it kind of just happened. One of my chef mentors, his name is Dexter Howard. He worked in senior living after our stint downtown working at the old spaghetti factory.
Okay.
And being a mentor, I would reach out to him every now and again just for, advice and, talking to a mentor, seeing how things were going. And I was just telling him about my career path and, working at restaurants, and it's just kind of the same things. And just from listening to me and hearing what I had to say, he thought that senior living would be something I would enjoy just from listening to what I was saying. He worked at, a different company, and it kind of sounded the same. And then I ventured into cooking for seniors then.
Okay, and how do you find the senior residents? Are they good crew to cook for? Are they receptive to you trying new things? Like what's it like there?
So yeah, it's interesting because it's the client is, you see them every day.
Yeah.
So it's good because you can see what works, what doesn't work. You're cooking for a specific group of people, and I feel like that is very rewarding.
Oh, it's good, and I'm sure they appreciate it too. I mean, just the smells and sights that I've seen already, I don't know how you can not come here and not be happy with what you guys do. So kudos right there. Chris, tell us about this living, loving local theme, the signature Verve thing here.
Yeah, so the Living Loving Local program is exclusive to Verve.
Yeah.
It's an amazing program where we can showcase items that are locally sourced from Ontario or even from the town that you're in.
Okay.
This month in March, we are showcasing maple and squash.
Nice.
So we will be showcasing that in various items, in an entree and a dessert. And it's a great program. Like it's something where we can really showcase where we're living, what we're doing, and show the residents and our guests that we are well versed to provide and work with local items, whatever it may be. Maybe something savory, maybe something sweet.
Yeah. So it makes every month it's something different.
Every month is something different. It's something in season and it's something local.
Okay, well that's good, and you're supporting local business, which is a great thing too,
Exactly.
especially these days. So that's really great.
Exactly.
So you've got this established theme once per month, but regular menus. How do you guys determine what you're going to do on a typical menu, say, and how often does that change?
Yeah, so we have seasonal menus.
Okay.
So they rotate every season.
Okay.
It is a 4-week rotation. So we have our 2 options for lunch and 2 options for dinner.
Okay.
They include an appetizer and a dessert, and they change daily. So you're not eating the same thing
That's good.
every day.
So it's not too repetitive.
Yeah. So if you get fish today, you're not going to get fish tomorrow.
Okay, that's good. I'm sure they appreciate that.
Yeah, and it's great to have that variety, and then we keep the favorites. So if we see something that gets really good feedback, we'll run it again.
Okay.
And really cater towards those.
How far ahead, Chris? Like if you say it's March now, so April. Do you guys know how far in advance do you know what you're going to do, or as it kind of gets closer, you start thinking about things that have inspired you? How does that work?
Yeah, definitely. So just to reiterate what Gus says, we do have a cyclical menu cycle. It's very vast and options are there, items that are there that we try not to rotate it too much. It's on about a 4 to 6 week cycle. It is corporately standardized, but what happens here is, as Gus says, is we get feedback from the residents and what they like. We might get something from corporate that doesn't really stick with the residents. So we have that freedom and that ability to change and to pivot to what they like and their favorites, as Gus said. And then we keep that kind of stuff going. They also may give us feedback as to something they may have had before that they really enjoyed, and we could also incorporate that into the menu that's provided with us.
Well, that's great. So you guys get some guidance, but you're allowed to sort of run with it a bit based
Exactly.
off resident
Exactly.
input. So speaking of which, so say somebody came up to you and said, I've got this really great recipe for meatloaf that I've been making for 60 years. Do you guys want to try it? Like, would something like that ever come up? Do you ever get inspiration from the residents themselves?
Yeah, it actually happens quite a bit.
Oh, that's good.
Especially baking. People might have a favorite apple pie recipe that their mom used to make, and it'll bring them back, right? So it's always good to do that for them. And
So you're taking a little bit of their their old home, their lifestyle that they had before, and you're bringing it here and making the transition, and that's really great. You guys do stuff like that. That's awesome. What's the most popular? What's everybody asking for?
Oh, geez. I would say residents' favorites here would be our roast beef Sundays.
Okay.
Definitely a huge staple. They also like our baby back ribs. We do a killer baby back ribs here.
Yes.
And then on Friday, we can never get rid of our fish and chips.
Okay, so sort of staples within
Yes.
the industry, traditional things, habits that are never going to go away.
Exactly.
Good ones.
Exactly.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So you guys, you've been doing this for a while. I'm sure there's nothing you haven't done. Probably you've seen everything.
Yeah.
What something fun for the people at home? What 3 tools, 3 kitchen gadgets you can't do without? Go ahead.
for me, it would be a chef knife.
Okay, that makes sense.
Can't do much without it.
True. You can judo chop some of that squash, I suppose. But
another one would be a KitchenAid mixer.
okay, that
It
plug
is
for
very
KitchenAid
versatile.
right there. All right.
Yeah. It is very versatile. It makes all sorts of great dishes. And then I also, secret tool is a zester.
All
Because
right.
that would be something that would, making a vinaigrette or even making a batch of cookies or anything, and it always adds that little essence.
Okay.
That's really good.
Nice. Good ones. Good ones. Chris, what about yourself?
Oh, geez. Again, chef's knife, definitely number one
Yeah.
on my list.
Yeah.
I would say a tong. It's always, a tong for everything. You got to make salad, use a tong. You got to turn something in, on your frying pan or in your oven, use a tong. And then last but not least, my secret thing would be a heat-resistant spatula.
Okay.
Just super versatile. Again, mixing. If you have to take anything off of a bowl or if you have to take anything off of a plate, use it to flip eggs, crepes, things like that. So for me, a good old heat-resistant spatula.
All right. Sounds good. Makes sense. I'll make sure to restock my kitchen when I get home, so I have these things. Take a bit of the packaging. All right. A couple of questions. If I were a resident here, say I had a doctor's appointment, I miss lunch. Come back at sort of an odd time. What happens?
Yeah, so we do have our designated lunch and dinner times.
Yeah.
However, we also do provide a 7 to 7 dining. So here in this room that we are in right now, the Harbor Master Bistro,
Yeah.
we offer all-day dining. So if you do miss that lunch window, you can come in here and then you'll have a separate bistro menu that you can order from
Okay.
any time of the day.
Oh, that's great. And what about something like dietary restrictions, things like that? How do you guys cater to those needs?
Yeah, thanks for that. Great question. So we do come about with dietary restrictions quite often.
Yeah.
And how we deal with that is once our director of wellness does the assessment, finds out what the needs are of the resident, it gets passed along to me. We input it in our nifty POS system, any dietary restrictions, any food allergies, any likes and dislikes. So once that resident orders any food, it'll come to the kitchen and we'll know exactly, what their restriction is, what their allergy may be, so we're not cross-contaminating on their food. And then we cater to that. We cater to anybody that, may have a dietary or diabetic restriction or, an allergy to a shellfish or anything like that.
Okay, cool. Now, what if someone like myself comes in, you guys make something that's amazing? Can I have seconds? Am I allowed to have another helping? How do you guys handle like that? Is it cost extra for an additional portion or another drink? What about stuff like that? How's that?
No, so we don't, it doesn't cost anything if you want extra.
Okay.
double portion is very common, as well as half portions, right? So everyone eats a different amount, and
So it all kind of balances out in the end.
yeah.
Okay, great. And now the most important question of the day, the one that everyone's been waiting to hear the answer to. What are you guys going to cook for us today? Chris, what are you making for us?
All right, so today we are going to be creating, off our Living Loving Local, we're going to be creating a pan-seared sea bass with a maple glaze. We're going to pair that with a buttercup squash puree and sauteed broccolini.
Oh, that sounds amazing. And Gus, what are you going to do for us? How are you going to follow that up?
So today, to also use the maple for the Living Loving Local, I will be making a chocolate and maple mousse
Yes.
with a cookie wafer, fresh berries, and some chocolate ganache.
Sounds amazing. I can't wait to see what you guys do. Thank you so much for sitting with me today. We'll go see what you guys put together, and then hopefully we get to eat it. Thanks a lot, everybody. Appreciate it,
Thanks
guys.
for having us. Ciao.
Now we're just gonna move over to the kitchen here.
All right, I'm here with Chris in the incredible kitchen that they have here. Chris, tell us what you're doing for the Living Loving Local.
Yeah, thanks again, Brian, for that amazing introduction.
No problem.
Today I'm going to be preparing for you a pan-seared sea bass with a nice maple glaze. That's going to be paired with a buttercup squash puree. We're also going to pair it with a sauteed broccolini.
Sounds
Okay?
good.
Yeah.
Let's make some magic.
All right, sounds good. So we're going to start off with the item that's going to take the longest to cook, which is going to be our buttercup squash.
Okay.
This is a part of our Living Loving Local program, as you mentioned.
Yeah.
Maple's also our staple for this month in March, okay? We're going to do both items today just to kind of showcase our Living Loving Local program. This program is used to utilize local produce, local items, things that are in season. So for the month of March, maple is pretty predominant in Canada.
Yeah.
As you guys know, or maybe not know, Canada produces about 41% of the maple worldwide. Okay?
Listen to this guy. All right. Did his homework.
Yeah, 91% of that is produced in Quebec.
Wow.
But today we'll be using local maple from Terracotta.
That's amazing.
All right.
Got ourselves a maple connoisseur here.
So we're gonna start off by just slicing your squash in half.
Carefully.
Carefully. Very sharp items. Okay, we are going to take the seeds out of your squash.
Okay.
So you can, I have a big handy, kitchen spoon here, but you can use your local or your, your spoon at home. Just a tablespoon or a teaspoon will work just fine.
Okay.
Okay. So you just want to take that out nicely there. You want to put it in something just lined with a little bit of parchment paper, or you can use non-stick, maybe Pam, something like that, so it doesn't stick on your item. Okay. So I'll be doing the whole squash for you today. So again, you just want to carefully take the seeds out. Try to do that as clean as you possibly can.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, just like that. It's good. Perfect. So that will just definitely go into your oven for about 45 minutes.
Okay.
And again, everybody should have a recipe card on hand so you can follow along as we go. Okay.
Sounds
So
good.
this will be going in our oven for 45 minutes.
Let's do it. All right, what's next?
Perfect. So now that our squash is in the oven, we
Yep.
set a timer for 45 minutes. Okay. We're gonna trim our broccolini.
Okay.
Okay, so again, broccolini you can find that at your local grocers. This is not a local product right now at the moment, but it comes in this long. It's a cross between a baby broccoli. It's pretty soft. So you're gonna cut about 3 inches off your baby broccolini. Okay.
Okay.
That's pretty much all you have to do. It's pretty self-explanatory. And again, you can follow along on your cue cards, on your recipe cards with me as we do this. Okay. So we're gonna get our broccoli out of the way. Now we're gonna take care of our sea bass. This is a Euro sea bass. It's already been filleted, the skin's on, so I'll show you how to clean it up and how to get it ready for a pan, okay? So now we have a nice beautiful fillet of European sea bass. It already has a skin on it. It's been filleted. It's been deboned. I'm just gonna show you how to take the belly of the sea bass off. Okay, just like that. You might just want to take a little bit of the tail off, again, and a little bit of the top off. These are items you can use for a fish stock, a fish soup. You don't have to throw everything in the garbage.
Okay.
You know, times are crazy and times are tough right now, so every little bit counts,
That's
right?
right, no
so you
waste.
can definitely save this and not use it as a waste. You can put it in a little fish stock.
Okay.
You can use it for a little fish soup or something like that.
Sounds good.
Definitely, okay?
Cool.
Perfect. Now you have a nice, beautiful fillet. It's about 4 ounces of sea bass. And we'll put this on to the side and we'll show you how to do it in the pan in a little bit, okay?
All right, it's been about 45 minutes.
Yep.
The squash is nicely cooked.
Yep.
Let's see what you do now.
All right, perfect. So as you can see, our squash has a nice caramelization. Again, squash has a fairly high content in sugar,
Okay.
so it's naturally sweet. I'm going to show you some seasonings that we're going to use to kind of complement the natural flavors of this butternut squash, okay? So we're pretty much just going to take all that nice meat out of the squash. You want to leave the skin on.
Okay.
You want to get that into your bowl, okay? Now the squash was fairly hard, as you can see when I cut it 45 minutes ago, and then now it's nice and soft and tender. And again, these are things you can do ahead of time. You know, if you're having a party, if you're hosting at home, right?
Okay.
You can do these things ahead of time. Here we do this for our residents on pretty much on a regular basis. And these are items that we kind of do ahead of time because you can kind of hold it, have it hold, and then you can reheat it.
Okay, that's good to know. Yeah, I suppose there are times where you're making tons of these, so
Exactly.
preparation is important.
Exactly. So you have your squash, right in your bowl here. We're just gonna season it with a little bit of kosher salt that we have here. And again, everyone has their ingredients, so I've already pre-measured all this stuff out.
Okay.
Okay, a little bit of nutmeg. You could also get some fresh nutmeg and you can grate it right on top. Nice
wow.
aromatic. And then a little bit of vanilla. People are gonna say, why is vanilla? We're not baking. Well, vanilla is just a natural spice that brings out that natural taste and that natural flavor in this butternut squash. Okay?
All right, sounds good.
We just want to have a fork here, and you just want to bring all your ingredients together. Now, when we do this on a large scale, we actually put it in a mixer,
Okay.
and we get it all mixed up. But because we're only doing one plate today, you can just use a fork, and you just want to bring everything together. Okay.
Yeah, I suppose if you're making this at home, you're not making it for 100 people unless you're having one heck of a party. So.
Yeah, exactly. So once that's all incorporated, we'll just leave it to the side,
Yeah.
and then we're gonna be showing you how to put that on the plate. Okay.
Sounds good.
Right now, we're gonna take care of our fish and our broccolini.
All right.
All right.
Let's do it.
Perfect.
All right, we're over at the stove now. We're going to work on the fish, the broccolini, and the sauce.
You got it.
Let's do it.
In that order.
All right.
Okay, so just a nice saute pan. I'm gonna turn that on. Key to getting your sea bass the way you want to get it, you want to get a nice crispy skin. You want to get a nice golden color on the meaty part of the fish.
Yeah.
So the key to that is to get a nice hot pan. Okay. We're going to be using some canola oil. As you again, just follow along with me on your recipe card. We're going to do a little bit of salt on there. Then we're going to sear it and then in our oven for about 7 to 8 minutes. Okay. So just going to put a little bit of salt on our fish.
And now all of these ingredients, they're readily available. There's nothing special ordered
all
from...
these ingredients are readily available. Again, the only thing that we sourced really locally was our maple.
Cool.
Okay, sounds good. So we just want to get our pan really hot. We want to turn our heat down. Okay, we want to use a little bit of canola oil. Okay, pan's nice and hot. You can see it a little bit of smoking there. You want to put your fish down, skin side down. You're gonna see that nice sizzle. Okay, you just want to have that on there until you see the sides of your fish just starting to turn a little bit white. Okay. But again, you might see a little bit of smoking. That's okay. Just try to control it with your heat. Folks at home that may not have a gas stove, you can use your regular conventional stove. Just try to manage your heat. Oil is going to get hot. It's going to have this little smoke. You just don't want to get too hot. You don't want to burn it. So you kind of want to stay with it.
Yeah.
Just watch it. It's going to give you cues on when it's ready to be flipped. As you can see, the sides are starting to turn a little bit white. Okay, I'm going to turn it over. Nice golden color on the skin. And then we're going to put that right in our oven for 7 minutes. And at home, you might not want to put your fish or anything in the oven with something that's not oven proof or heat proof. So right there, these pans are heat proof up to 700 degrees. So just make sure if you're doing it at home, you're putting in something in the oven that can take the heat, okay? So we're going on to our maple glaze. So I'm going to be using maple locally sourced. I'm going to be using a little bit of soy sauce. The reason for the soy sauce is just to even out that sweet balance. Soy sauce, as you know, is a little bit salty.
Yep.
This is a low sodium soy sauce,
Okay.
but it's going to really evenly balance out that sweet. You don't want to have an overly sweet fish, right?
Okay.
So that's the reason for the soy sauce. And then we're going to finish it with butter. In French, that's called a monté. It's just a natural bringing together of two different things.
All right.
Okay. So we're going to turn our stove on again. Okay, again, getting our pan fairly warm here. We're going to start with our maple. You can see that sizzle. Okay. We're going to also add our soy sauce at the same time. Okay, we're going to bring these two together. Now, as your recipe card says, as it starts to sizzle and bubble is when you have to add your butter to bring everything together. I'm going to let that go for about another 35 seconds or so. Get a nice little glaze there. Maple, you know, very high in sugar, so you don't want to be careful not to burn it. Then I'm going to add about 15 grams of unsalted butter, and what I'm doing now is called monté.
Monté.
Yeah, so we're just bringing our glaze together just like that.
All right.
Okay, again, something that you can make ahead of time, put it to the side. You know, once your guests arrive and you're starting to serve, you can re-warm it a little bit and put that on your fish. Okay. So we're going to set this off to the side and we're going to take care of our broccoli.
Let's do it.
All right. All right, so now we're going to do our broccolini. Again, pan nice and warm, not as hot this time. We're dealing with a vegetable. You don't want to sear it too much. You don't want to burn it. Okay, so nice medium heat. Okay, we're going to be using olive oil this time around. And again, healthier items, a healthier option for your olive oil for your vegetable. Okay.
Sounds good.
Okay, so about a tablespoon of olive oil. Okay, just want to bring that up a little bit. Okay, this is our broccoli that we trimmed. We're just going to have that sizzling in there. Okay. About a half a teaspoon of minced garlic. Okay. A couple pinches of salt. And you just kind of want to work that, okay? Again, if you're doing this for a larger crowd, you know, you'd use probably a bigger pan, broccolini. And again, you don't want too much of a high heat there. Okay, you're gonna get a nice steam or a nice sear from our lemon juice, and the lemon juice also helps with the color of the broccoli. It's gonna keep it nice and green.
Oh wow.
Okay. Yeah, there you go. I'm gonna put a sizzle there. Okay. And just to lock in some of the steam, we can use another pan and just cover it. Again, at home, if you don't have another pan, a lot of homes, I know at my home, I have pans and I have covers for the pan. You put a nice cover on there. You just want to give that a few minutes just to set in and just to give that broccoli that cook, okay? This is super optional. I put that on the recipe of adding some chili flakes. Chili flakes brings a little bit of that heat. You know, we just added some acidity with our lemon juice.
Okay.
So that chili flake brings a little bit of heat and brings out that flavor in that broccoli. Okay?
So you don't have to do it, but if you like
It's
the
super
spice-
optional. Today we are going for it.
Yes.
All right. Another pinch in there. All right, so as you can see, that broccoli is nice and bright, nice and sauteed, not too charred at all. Okay, and we're gonna take this to the plate.
All right.
All right.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
All right, so everything's cooked and ready to go. Let's put it on the plate, make it look pretty, and then hopefully
Perfect.
eat it.
Perfect. All right. So again, you don't have to make it this pretty at home. You know, we are a premium brand here at Verve, so we do like to focus on presentation.
Good for you.
You know, I would say 98% of the times our plates come out pristine. You know, nothing's perfect. I can't say 100%, but we're going to show you a typical plating and what our food would look like here. Again, we're doing just one plate. We're doing mass production here with about 100 people, 120 people at some locations, 170 people at some locations.
Wow,
okay?
it's a lot of sea bass.
Yeah, exactly. And again, chefs are highly trained and certified to do this, so we're going to take you to the plate.
Let's do it.
Perfect. So we're going to start with our squash that we did. Okay. Just going to pick a spot on the plate. The plates are canvas, okay? You can make it look pretty. You can put it however you want to do it, okay? I'm gonna go with our broccolini right next to that. Okay, I'm just gonna use 3 pieces. Okay, our beautifully seared sea bass. As you can see, nice crispy skin, nice golden on the meat side, right on top. Okay, our nice maple glaze, which is the highlight of our dish.
All right.
As you can see, nice color, beautiful color. You want to give that a nice glaze. And again, like you see it on TV, you just go for it, okay? The world's your oyster.
Or in this case, your sea bass.
Yeah, there you go. You can do dots, right? You can just play with it, have some fun, okay?
Do you ever put your initials down there so that everyone knows where it's coming from? It's your Zorro.
Maybe that's something I should take into.
There you go. A little, yeah.
Okay, yeah. And again, I'm just gonna add some more color to it. Again, this is just a little extra. This is optional, as you can see on your recipe card. This is just some nice microgreens from your local grocer. And I have a secret maple thing that I did.
Everyone look away.
Okay, so you have to join us next time for the recipe for this one. Okay?
Cliffhanger.
But this is made from maple, and it's just a nice maple brittle. Okay?
Oh, that is beautiful. It's almost a shame to eat that. That's artwork.
There you go.
I'm gonna eat some Picasso.
All right.
Great job, Chris. That looks amazing.
You're welcome.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. No problem. My pleasure. Enjoy. Join us again.
Now we're just gonna move the camera over to the bistro.
All right, I'm here again with Gus. Gus, tell us what this beautiful room is and what you're gonna make for us today.
Thanks, Brian. Today we are in the Harbor Masters Bistro,
All right.
and we will be making maple chocolate mousse.
Oh, yes.
Nice Canadian classic.
Awesome.
All right, so I will start by showcasing the ingredients.
Let's do it. Let's take a look.
Right. So to make the maple chocolate mousse, we are gonna need 6 eggs,
All right.
maple syrup, local to Ontario,
Sounds good.
whipped cream,
All right. My favorite.
and to garnish, we are gonna need a fresh strawberry, silver sugar balls, maple flakes, and just to give us a little bit of background flavor, some cocoa powder, and to set the gelatin, to set the mousse, some gelatin.
All right.
To top it off, we are going to use some wafers.
And for those of you that are keeping score at home or would like to participate later, there is an ingredient chart here that I understand everybody will be receiving at the end of the show. So if you want to take an attempt at what Gus is putting down, then go ahead.
It's very simple. It seems harder. It looks harder than it seems.
Perfect.
All right. So to get started, we're going to grab a bowl and we're going to separate our egg yolks from our egg whites. So I have a bowl here just to catch the egg whites.
See, when I do this at home, there's egg everywhere. I've never won this battle. Already you're doing way better than most.
Oh, thanks, Brian. Take some practice.
Yeah, I'm sure you've done this once or twice.
Oof. If I had $1 for every egg I've separated.
So why do you separate the eggs? What does that do for us rookies?
So to make a mousse, what you want is the richness in the dish, and you can only get that from the egg yolks, because the egg yolks is the only part of the egg that has the fat. It's the fat of the egg.
Okay.
And the whites are just protein. So the protein, when you heat it up and you cook it, it'll coagulate. So it'll be more firm and more of a tougher mousse. But with just the egg yolks, it's more of the richness from the fat.
All right. Also, I really appreciate using the word coagulate.
All right.
You get bonus points for that.
All right, so now that we have we can save the egg whites for another recipe.
Okay.
Maybe a nice omelet in the morning.
Sounds good.
All right.
Nothing goes with mousse like an omelet.
So in this bowl, we're gonna whisk the egg yolks, and to that we're gonna add our cocoa powder, Again, this gives nice color and also a little bit of contrast and flavor to the maple. It's Dutch process dark cocoa powder.
All right. Chocolate eggs. My daughter would love it.
And some maple syrup, Ontario local. We're gonna mix that in there.
See, now I would drink that. It already looks good, so I would drink that, and I would get sick. So don't do that, but it does already look good and smell even better.
All right, so now we're gonna cook this over a bain-marie, which is just a pot of water with the bowl suspended on top. It's not touching the water. So what that does is it cooks the eggs gently and it won't curdle the eggs, because nobody wants chocolate scrambled eggs, right? Other than your daughter.
I was gonna say, I know a few people that would. All right, that's good. So we're off to the kitchen?
Yeah.
All right, let's do it.
And let's go to the kitchen.
So would you do this for regular scrambled eggs? Like, would you float it over water, or is it just this specific to this recipe?
No, so it's just for like mousses and stuff.
Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
or like a hollandaise, you would do this.
Okay, and that's so it doesn't cook a sort
Curdle,
of
yeah.
coagulate, as you said?
Yeah.
I really hope that comes up on my crossword today. Or if I play Scrabble tonight, I'm winning.
Yeah, so right now we reached the temperature of 150. That's when the egg yolks are cooked, so this is safe to eat.
Perfect.
And let's move over to the bistro.
All right, we're back at the bistro here. Gus has got his mousse ready to go. So what are the next steps, Gus?
So now the next steps are that we're going to be adding the gelatin. Now that it's nice and thick because the eggs are cooked,
Perfect.
we will be adding the gelatin.
All right.
And then we're going to mix that. And because it's still hot, it might look very liquidy. Just like that. It's looking like mousse already. So now what we can do is we can chill this in the fridge for about 10 to 15 minutes.
Okay.
Or what I'm going to do to speed up the process is I put it in some ice water over here. And just turn it like this.
That looks fun.
Yeah, very fun. This is how they used to make ice cream.
Jeez.
So just like that, you just want to chill it a little bit because we're going to be adding our whipped cream. And if this mixture is too hot, it will flatten out your cream. And then all that work to get the cream nice and airy will be gone.
Okay.
All right, now that it's looking thick,
Oh yeah.
we are going to add 1/3 of the whipped cream mixture. And what we're doing is we're just enlightening it to add the rest of the cream. You don't want to add it all at once because we're trying to keep as much air as possible into this dessert.
Wow.
I'm going to do it over the ice bath to chill it.
Already looks amazing. You don't get the benefit of smell at home, but trust me, it smells very good. And that's through a mask. It smells this good.
You can really smell the smokiness of the maple here.
Yes.
All right, now I will add the rest of the cream.
Huh?
And just fold that in. You start from the bottom and you work your way up. Just like that. And you want to mix it until you don't see any more white, any more of the whipped cream.
So approximately how many servings would you get out of something like this?
Depending on your vessel to hold the dessert, you should be getting about 12 to 15.
Okay.
Yeah, and you can do this in tall glasses. You can do them in parfait glasses. Another popular one is martini glasses. If you really want to wow your guests.
Well, what's going to happen is I'm going to make this just for me and eat it right out of the bowl when I do it myself.
There you go.
No martini glasses for me.
All right, now that it's done, we can work on our ganache.
All right.
So we can pop this in the fridge, let it set a little bit more. And to make our ganache, we have equal parts of chocolate, dark chocolate, and cream. We're gonna bring the cream to a boil, pour it in, ganache is done. Fancy word for something so simple. Eh,
Yeah,
Brian?
that's, I think even I could handle that one.
All right. So now the cream's come to a boil, I'm just gonna pour it in.
Okay.
And then just melt the chocolate. This is great for icing a cake or dipping berries in it. You can put this on anything.
Anything?
Anything.
All right.
So we're gonna mix it up nice and smooth until you don't see the chocolate chips anymore. It'll darken in color, nice and rich.
Yes.
Just like that, nice and smooth. No more chocolate chips, rich and dark.
Yes.
All right. Now, let's put this thing together.
All right.
We have our mousse cups over here. We're gonna need 2 piping bags. One is for the mousse and one is for the chocolate ganache.
Okay.
Some scissors to cut the tip. All right. Just gonna fill this bag up. Bring it just like that, give it a little twist so it doesn't come out the top end. All right, and then for this one, we're gonna put the ganache. Make sure there's no water. And this one we'll pour right in.
Yes. Lucky bag.
All right. Twist again, and we are ready.
Your garnishes.
Ready to go. So let's cut the tip off. We are gonna put 1 layer of the mousse on the bottom, just like that. Then we will layer the maple flakes. This gives a nice crunchy texture to the soft mousse. I'm gonna put some in there, just like that. Then we will do some chocolate ganache around the edge. And then just repeat the process. So some mousse. Some maple flakes.
What is a maple flake?
It's a maple syrup that's been dehydrated and about 98% of the moisture taken out of it, so it becomes this dry, almost resembles like a cornflake. But it's very strong in maple flavor. And then some more ganache. some more mousse. This will be the last layer.
Need a bigger cup.
And then we're just gonna finish with a little bit in the middle. We are gonna throw the white sugar balls on the chocolate, just like that.
The little details, it's amazing what you guys do.
Thanks, Brian. Little strawberry. It's about a quarter of a strawberry and some homemade wafers.
Wow.
And there you go.
That's not food, that's art, people. It's beautiful. Nice job.
Thank you, Brian.
Let's eat it.
I invite everybody to try this recipe. It's very simple. It looks really good, and it's very Canadian.
And I bet it's gonna taste even better. Nice job.
Thanks, Brian.
Hello, everyone. I feel like I need to confirm what you're all thinking. And yes, it smells as good as it looks. Now is your opportunity to ask Chris or Gus any questions you may have. Please enter your questions into the chat feature and we'll ask one of our chefs to answer. It could be about the recipe you just watched them create, their career journeys, to questions about the actual residents that me or Catherine would be happy to answer.
Perfect. So we do actually have some questions in the chat box that I will ask. One question will be for Chef Chris. With the population becoming more multicultural, what are some of your meal options that cater to different ethnic backgrounds?
Perfect. Thank you for that question. Yeah, so our menu is about a 6-week cycle menu. So the variety is pretty vast on our menu, and knowing that our culture is is different and diverse, we cater to all different backgrounds. I could speak to doing jerk chicken for if you're from the Caribbean, or different spices and herbs, like curries. We do a lot of curries here as well. We did butter chicken last night for dinner. Down to your lasagna and your pastas, right? So it's very verse and very versatile in what we do, and it caters to everybody. Thank you for that question.
Thank you, Chef. All right, we have another question for Gus. Can a resident have guests in for lunch or dinner?
Yeah, that's a great question, especially with everything that's been going on in the world. Trying to really limit on the guests that come into the building for resident safety. Once we see more mandates and stuff lift, we will definitely be allowing more guests than we are now. Currently, it's designated or essential visitation, but we see that kind of coming to an end soon, and back to families coming to see each other.
Thank you, Gus. And I guess depending on your location, in Ontario, we do have limitations, but if you are in the West Coast and the limitations have differed, then you definitely would refer to that home that's close to your area to determine whether or not visitors can dine with the residents. Thank you, Gus. Another question for you, Gus, as well. What if I am not feeling well? What if I'm not feeling well and I have lunch or dinner in the dining room?
Yeah, so if you're not feeling well, then usually we do for Verve is having meals brought up to the room. So the nurse will take the order and do a checkup and make sure everything's okay, and have your meal in the room, so it's not to limit the spread, depending on what it is.
Thank you, Gus. Okay, and we have another question here for Chef Chris. Some people find comfort in eating familiar things. Others want variety and adventure. How do you manage both of these types of clients?
Okay, perfect. Very, very good question. So we have a thing here at Verve that we call a resident favorite. So a resident might have a dish that they used to have when they were growing up and, their parents may have cooked it for them, or, something they may have cooked for their kids that they really enjoy, they can definitely bring that to us. We do a resident food council meeting once a month, where a resident can meet with, myself or the sous chef Gus, and, to kind of talk about these ideas, and then we could definitely incorporate it into, our weekly menu cycle, just to kind of, give them that reminiscence of home and reminiscence of what they've provided before. And we're obviously doing our regular menus that may just cater to the standard folks that just want, just some hearty home cooked meals, that which we provide on a daily basis. Yeah.
Okay, thank you, Chef.
No problem.
Okay, we have a few more questions. This one's geared to Gus because it's about your dish. Would love to know how do you make those maple flakes?
Those maple flakes are very similar to kind of like what Chris did in his garnish. So you would put some maple on a tray with parchment, and then just put it on your oven's lowest setting, and then just dry them out. Once they're dried out, you can just crumble them up.
Oh, great. Thank you, Gus. Here's another question about the menu or dining. Do you have any healthy options on the menu? How about for Chef Chris?
Definitely. 100% we have healthy items. A great part of our Living Loving Local is that we feature superfoods, and we try to highlight on our menu with an asterisk what the superfood may be, whether it's blueberries or strawberries, or a nice healthy fish like a salmon, eggs. We try to highlight what's the healthier option on our dish. For lunches, we like to do a lot of entree salads, which the residents love, which is super breathtaking, because they like healthy things, right? And they'll let you know what they like and their dislikes, and we definitely cater to that. So tons of healthy options to choose from on our menus.
Perfect. Thank you. Okay, we have a two-part question here. Do you have to pay extra for meals? And I noticed that you have a bar bistro. Do you serve alcohol? I guess Gus can answer that one.
Yeah, so the first part of the question is, do you have to pay extra for meals? No, that's included with the monthly contribution, right? And then the bistro bar, yes, we do serve alcohol. We serve alcohol there, and we also serve alcohol in our dining room. We have a separate beverage menu, and it includes white wines, red wines, different liqueurs, and some cocktails.
Perfect. Thank you, Gus. And we have one last question here. It'll be for both of you, Chris and Gus. If you had to name one dish that the residents love the most, what would it be, and what do you think it would be? Sorry. So we'll start with Chris.
Great question. If I were to think about like one dish the residents really love, like again, I said it earlier, I feel like one of the favorites is our baby back ribs. It's just something about it. The residents really like it. I don't know if it's how we create it and what we do with it, but definitely a huge resident favorite here, 100%.
Perfect. And what do you think, Gus? What do you think would be a classic favorite for the residents?
I'll go with a dessert, since Chris said the baby back ribs. A very popular dessert is a lemon bar, 100% homemade, and it's a huge hit. Not too heavy. It's a nice, almost palate cleanser. Leaves a refreshing taste. Yeah.
Perfect. So I think we've reached the end of our Q&A. If no one else has asked any questions in the chat. We have a really fun poll now. We want to get some audience interaction in this virtual event. So we're going to have a poll come up, and please feel free to answer these fun questions about food here. And then we'll put up the answers shortly, or the poll results. What wine would you pair with this meal? Michelle, what would you pair with it?
Ooh, a Californian red.
Classic with that, absolutely. And then number 2 here, what would you prefer to eat with maple syrup? I think it's fitting since it's Mardi Gras today, or Pancake Tuesday. What do you guys think, Chef Chris?
Definitely pancakes, 100%. Good maple syrup with some pancake is fantastic.
Perfect.
sure.
There's a dessert question here for Gus. What's the best classic ice cream flavor? What would you say is yours?
Maple pecan.
Awesome. All right. And then here's another one here. How do you slice your sandwiches? Down the center or diagonally? I feel like that's controversial.
Right?
Totally.
I'm down the center. I'm down the center.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Here's another one. Ketchup all over your food or ketchup on the side? Or none? I'm a
think it
none
depends on the
ketchup
day.
person.
Yeah, definitely. Some chefs would be, very upset if you want to put ketchup all over their dish, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm an ew ketchup girl too.
I'll do it on the side.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
Okay.
Let's see if we can get some results on here. Oh, here we go.
Oh, white, red. You guys like the white. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
We have a lot of French toast lovers too.
Mhm.
Oh, yeah. Just fruit. Yes, fruits in the salad, guys. Yes.
100%.
Yeah, I agree with that too.
Butternut.
And a lot of vanilla ice cream.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Oh.
All right.
All right, guys.
So Michelle, I'm going to hand it off to you.
All right. So if you guys are interested in inquiring about a specific Verve residence in your province, please contact your local community relations manager. All contact information can be found on our Verve website. Just look under Find a Community and click on your province to find the residence in your area. On behalf of Verve, I want to thank you all again for joining us today. I'm going to run to the kitchen now to eat that deliciousness we just watched. Please remember to look out for the recipe card that should arrive to your email very shortly after this event. Bye, everyone.
Bye. Thank you.
Everyone, bye.
Thanks, everyone.